I This is the first video I'm going to upload to YouTube. It's not going to be one of the best. I mean, it's not going to be like your regular, well laid out YouTube video, but I'll get better with time. So today I'm talking about how to perform. I'm going to show you how I perform my joins, SQL joins. But before we go on with the joins, we're going to upload. I've added a link to the database that I use. I've added the link so that you can also download it if you want to practice along with me. So now we're going to upload the database to my SQLite. This is the sample database. So now we've uploaded it to SQLite. List of all customers. So we want all the customers, which means that we're looking for, let's look at the customer table. We're looking for, we could say the customer ID. We could say, oh, sorry, it's not typing. So we're looking for the customer ID. We're looking for the customer name. I don't think we need to put the contact number, just the customer name. The customer name. And then their orders. If we look at the orders table, we have the order ID, and then we have their orders. Maybe the order date. That could be a good detail to add. The order date. Okay, I think those are the things that we need. Retrieve a list of all customers, which the customer ID and the customer name covers, and their corresponding orders, which the order ID and perhaps the order date covers. So this will include customers who haven't placed any order. So now I'm going to go from I'm working with let me say the customer, they both have a second, okay. So there's a customer ID secondary key in the orders table. So I can join those two tables easily. So I'm going to start with the customer table as my left table. So that's customers, and I'm going to give it an alias. So an alias makes it easy for us to reference a table without having to type the complete name of that table. For instance, we might have a table that has, like the address to the data set, and it's very long. Like this one is actually really short. But there are some tables that are longer that references the database and then before the table and all that. But this is short. So we'll just use C as the alias for customers. You want to use aliases that are that are easy to remember and all that. So we have renamed customers table as C. So now we go back to our select statement, and I'm going to reference the customers table properly now. So it's going to be the customer table, which is now C dot customer ID, which is it had already brought up for me, so I don't need to type it twice. And then C dot the customer name, which is this. I'm going to delete the one that I wrote before. Now we're joining it to the orders table. So we're now going to go and say left join. I've started with the customer table because we want all the customers. Like the question says, we should retrieve all the customers. So that means that we want to, our left table. I mean, if we do a left from the table we are joining it with. So that's why I started with the customers table. So left join the orders table. I'm going to give the orders table an alias as well. I'll name it O. What are we joining it on? That's the secondary or primary key we are joining them on the customer. That's C dot customer ID. They both have customer IDs, so I'm going to join them on the customer ID, and then O dot customer ID as well. And that's all we need to do. If we run this now, see that the customer ID for each of the customers, then the customer name, alias Alice, Bob, the orders, and then the order dates. Now notice that here under order ID and order date we have null null. That's because the order table, we have a customer named Charlie, which is contained in the customer table, but there's no Charlie in the orders table. That's why the orders table, left join is taking everything. Like if we let's write a select statement for to see what we have in each of those tables. So select everything from that's from customers. We'll see that the customer, these are all the customer names in that table. We have Alice, we have Bob, we have Smith. Now if we do the same thing and we query the orders table, the left we have so here we use the customer ID as the identifier. So we have customer ID 1, 2, and 1. But here we have customer ID 1, 2, 3. So there's no 3 in our orders table. There's no customer ID 3. That we just have 1, 2, 1. So that's why in this table, because there's no customer ID 3, Charlie, who is also in customer table, has no reference in the orders table. So that's why it's no, no, no. So that's what the I'm going to delete this too. So that's why we have that scenario. So we have combined the two tables now into a new table. The second use case says we should retrieve a list of all orders. So now that means we're starting from the orders table because we want all the orders along with detailed information about the products. So we're doing the orders. Going from all the orders, all the information about the orders. Then we want to, along with the detailed information about the products included in each order. So we want the products as well in each order. This will ensure that all orders are listed, even if there are no matching products. See, so it's similar to what we've done before. We want all the order details, everything about the orders. So as the order ID, order date, and then the products. So now the table where we have a product ID, that's the order details. So that means we are linking three tables: the order ID, which is going to give us the order details and the date. Then we have the products, because they want all the details about the orders. So we're going to get probably the quantity, and then the name of the products. So let's start. Let's start with we're starting with the orders table. We want the order ID, order date. We want the order date. We want the products. Let's do the products ID, the product name. Do I need the product ID? Let's just do the product name. The product name, the maybe the category. I don't want the category. Just wants listed if there are no matching products. We want the detailed information about products. Okay, so we want products and maybe total from the order details table. We want the quantity because those are still details about the order, and then we want the maybe the subtotal. Okay, so I'm going to do my select, and then from orders, we'll name it as who. So this will be who dot order ID, then who dot order dates, which we already have there. And we're going to do a left join other details as OD, OD, O dot other ID equals to OD dot other ID. And I'm going to left join it again. OD dot product ID. I mean left join products as P on OD dot product equal to P dot product ID. We run this. No such column as products as P on OD dot product. Oh, okay. So I haven't referenced them. So P dot product name, product name, then OD dot quantity, and OD dot subquery. I mean subtotal. Okay, I don't think that's how the subtotal was written. Yep. So let's run this. So we have order ID, that is 1 1. So for order ID 1 1 on this date, we have the product name laptop and headphones. These are the quantities order. This was the total, the subtotal. Then for the second one, then for order ID 2, we have this date, that's the product, the quantity, and the subtotal. Then for order ID 3 on this date, we have products, laptop, and headphones, quantities ordered, and the price. So that's for the second scenario. Then the third one, we have retrieve a list of customers along with the total amount they've spent on orders. So now we want to start from the customers table. So it says a list of the customers. So we're going to do the customer ID. We're going to do the customer name. The customer name, yeah. We don't need the contact. Then they said the total amount they spent. So this is amount is in the orders table. So we need to link the customer table, customer ID. Okay. So we're going to do the sum of the total amount that each customer spent. Yeah, spent on orders. Who have an including customer. So yeah, that's just saying that we're starting with the customers. This customer, we need all the information in the customers table. So I'm going to do my select statement. We're selecting that from I'm doing customer table first. So that's customers as C. So now I'm changing this to C dot. So now I can reference the columns properly. C dot customer ID and delete the second. And then this one too is C dot customer name. Yeah, that one's properly written. So now I'm joining it to the where do I have the total amount in the orders table. I think I should also pick the order ID just to. Well, let me join the orders table first. Let's left join orders as oh on C dot customer ID equals to O dot customer ID. So now I'm going to reference this total properly. So it's O dot total amount. Then I want the order ID. O dot order ID. So right. So now in this case, okay, let's just give this an alliance. Alias. Sorry. So that has a name in the table. Otherwise, we'll just write some O dots as the name of the column, and I don't want that. So now it says total amount spent. Let's just name it that. Total amount spent column. So now this whole column, this instead of referencing the column as sum, it would now be referenced as total amount spent. So now we want the total amount spent because there are some customers that ordered twice. Allison now, Allison ordered this on the 15th and then on the 5th of March. So we don't want Allison recorded twice. We want the total of what Allison has spent in the company. So that means we're going to now group the we're going to group it by let's group it by say group by customer ID. C dot customer ID. My ID. Yeah, let's run it now. Yes. So this is exactly what I wanted. So now the customers, so I really do not need the other ID. Yeah, it's just taking it out. So now what I have is only the customers. Yes, the customer ID references the customer. Yeah, so this is right. Only the customers, the total number of orders the customers have placed. I don't want it broken down into the different days and like that. So like here that Alison is appearing twice. Is Alison is only appearing. Alice is only appearing once there with all the total orders that she had placed. So that's for the third use case. Then the final use case it says retrieve a list of all orders with the names of products included in each order. This will go orders even if there are no products associated. Okay, so this one says list of all orders with the names of the products included. So if I don't list of all orders, maybe order dates, I don't need to include the quantity because it doesn't say detailed, and then the product name. So, but our order ID, order date, and product product name. Because for the product name, would need the order details. So that's the order ID. Maybe I don't need if I'm using the order ID order. I don't need the order name. I mean order date. Okay, let's select and then from as order details table as OD left join um the products table as P on OD dot product ID or to P dot product ID. Let's run that. So these are all the orders with the names of products included in each order. So order ID, laptop, headphones, order 2, smartphone, order 3, laptop, order 3 again, headphones. Even if there are no products associated, well, we don't have any such scenario. So yeah, so these are all the list of all the orders. So I hope it was simple enough. I tried to explain it as much as I could. I think you would have to have prior knowledge of of primary and secondary keys to be able to do joins, and then you will need to understand aliases. Like for instance, now here I don't necessarily have to put as. Even if I don't put as, it's still going to recognize this OD as an alias for other details. So if I run it, it still works. So I don't necessarily have to put the as in the query, and it will still run as normal. So you would have to have a prior knowledge of all that to be able to do joins successfully. So thank you for watching the video. I see you again next time. Bye.